Welcome to Modern Management of the Older Adult, brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence.
Welcome, everyone, to the Modern Management of the Older Adult podcast. My name is Trissa Hutchinson, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and I'm a TA within the Older Adult Division. I'd like to talk about some upcoming courses we have. As the Older Adult Division is kicking off the new year strong, we have some online courses beginning January 10th with Level 1, as well as January 11th, we have Level 2. Those are the online courses. Followed by January 13th, we'll be heading to both Marysville, Ohio and Santa Rosa, California. January 20th, we will be in Greensville, South Carolina as well. So lots of good stuff coming early in the new year, so feel free to hop on our website and grab a spot while you still can. Spots fill up real quick, so I hope to see you guys there. So today I would like to talk about assisted living or living assisted, specifically the transition for older adults who are community dwelling and now residing in an assisted living facility. So the number of individuals that are now residing in such a facility is on the rise, and we as geri clinicians need to be comfortable with all of the resources and all of the going-ons in the assisted living facilities to really leverage success for these older adults. Muller in 2012 conducted a mixed method study specifically looking at and reviewing the perspectives of older adults who have resided or have transitioned and now currently reside in such an assisted living facility. From this mixed method study, Muller developed 3 key concepts, including role maintenance, autonomy, and choice. So today in our talk, I'm going to talk about specifically role maintenance, autonomy, and choice, followed by 3 questions and how we can really leverage each of these key concepts when we're working with our older adults to promote success for these individuals in their transition to their new home. So, talking about role maintenance first, just specifically referring to keeping one's current roles. So keeping one's current roles, whether that be caregiver, friend, sister, homemaker, lawn keeper, so any of those roles. In terms of autonomy, just referring to simply someone's independence. And then choice, the ability to make one's decisions. So let's go into 3 questions to help leverage each one of these key concepts. So first, I want you to ask your older adults, why are they there? Why have they moved into an assisted living facility? Is it because they need help? Maybe they aren't feeling like they're able to do all of their activities of daily living by themselves anymore, and they need help getting dressed. Maybe they've fallen, and now they feel like they need to be around other people. Maybe they don't have family in town, and so they feel like they're safer in such a facility. Maybe they no longer drive, and again, they also feel like they need to be around someone. Sometimes families even make the choice for their individuals. Nope, my daughter said I can't live at home anymore, and I need to live into an assisted living facility now. So daughter made the choice for me. So you need to learn, why are they there? Maybe it's on the flip side, it's a positive experience. Maybe they're excited about moving because they said, nope, I need to move there because that's what I would like to do. They've been paying into the long-term care insurance for a long time, and now they want to really leverage success for themselves and move there because they're feeling good about it. So why are they there? Question number 2, I want you to ask, how do they feel about this transition? How do they feel about the transition from living in the community to now residing in an assisted living facility? Just this past week, some of the individuals I work with in assisted living facilities have told me completely opposite answers to this question. One of them told me This was the best decision I have ever made. This saved my life. I was in a bad spot. I had no friends around me. I sat in my chair all day and I did nothing. And now I'm here and I feel energetic and there's activities and I'm around everybody and I have friends and there's good food here and they're just excited. They're pumped. They're feeling great about their situation. I have a man who I asked this question to, and his answer was a little bit different. He so specifically told me, living here is like combing your hair backwards. Combing your hair backwards. Or combing hair on the wrong side. It just isn't right. He came from a very big farm and he lived there for 54 years. And now he lives in a smaller apartment. And said again, living here is just like combing your hair backwards. It just isn't right. He's feeling hurt. He's feeling remorse. He's mourning his home. And he's not really excited about where he is. He's feeling sad about it. So why do they live there? And how do they feel about their transition? The third question that we need to ask ourselves as geri clinicians working with individuals who have transitioned to assisted living facilities is, what can we do as geri clinicians? So now we know why they're there, which is very important information. We know how they're feeling about it, which is just as important, if not more important information. And now what can we do? So let's get back to those 3 key concepts by Mulry: role maintenance, autonomy, and choice. So let's dive into role maintenance. How can we as geri clinicians leverage success in role maintenance? If we have an individual who used to love gardening, landscaping, everything outdoors, maybe they were a farmer and they loved doing everything outside, and now they live in an assisted living facility and they no longer have access to their own yard. They don't have to mow, they don't have a garden, they don't have any of those things, and they don't have access to that. So they have a sense of loss because they no longer have that role. So us as geri clinicians, we need to get creative in helping maintain this role. This happened to one of my patients, and we scheduled a field trip with the activities coordinator to go to the local greenhouse, and this individual picked out all of the flowers and all of the plants for the facility and helped get them put in the ground. They had raised flower beds and they put them all in there, and then they discussed with another individual different plants for outside and the landscaping as well. Another individual also enjoyed landscaping and was a little more cognitively capable and had weekly meetings with our maintenance director to make sure that all of the landscaping was on track, all of the specific plants and everything. This individual happened to be a horticulture specialist. So maintaining that role of gardener and landscaper. We had another person that was one of my patients that was feeling like she was missing the role of worship leader. She used to be very involved and active in her church, and she moved here from another town. And so she felt like she no longer had that role of being involved in the church and working with other people in that manner. And so she herself went and talked to the activities coordinator and got something set up. And now she leads a devotion group within the assisted living facility. And she studies every week and prepares a presentation and devotion group, and it's interactive and it's super successful. And she feels a very big part of her is still present. She has that role. We have another individual who has dementia, and she resides in the memory care side of the assisted living facility, which I spend a lot of time at and work at. And she isn't necessarily able to lead a certain group currently, but whenever given the opportunity to do things such as sing, because she loves to sing, We provide that opportunity and she jumps on board right away. This role maintenance can also come in smaller forms. So maybe someone loved baking before and they no longer have kitchen set up to be able to do such a thing. Can we be the bridge? Can we be the conversation starter with the individual and their family to talk about maybe having mom or dad come over and teach you how to bake the family special recipe? Maybe you offer that they come and help you when cooking dinner, rather than having them show up and everything's all done for you, good to go, no problem. Again, get them involved. There are many options and many ways that we can be creative to help people maintain their roles. We can, outside of doing these bigger, grander gestures of getting things set up for activities, maybe we can leverage them within our interventions. Can we get creative? Can we do some sort of a baking activity with our individual and pair in dynamic balance and dual tasking with our pouring tasks while we're walking across the kitchen? Can we have them walking on uneven ground and bending and squatting and standing and pulling and lifting and carrying and turning when they're planting things outside? Again, let's find ways to really leverage role maintenance. Moving on to what can we do as geri clinicians for autonomy and choice? I like to pair these two together, as Maury did, talking about, again, autonomy or independence and choice. So we as geri clinicians often like to really push for independence, max level of independence. Let's get them to do it on their own. However, they also have a choice to decide which activities, which areas of their life that they would prioritize to be most independent in. As a geri clinician, my first few times walking into a patient was like, yes, I know that I can get this patient to get dressed all by themselves, 110%. We work hard, we do our squats, we do our overhead presses, and we can do this. But that's not what they wanted. They wanted to be able just to wash their hair. They wanted to just wash their hair, but they wanted their husband to be able to wash their toes and their feet, and they wanted their husband to help them with getting their shirt on. That's fine. That's their choice. And so again, we're pushing for autonomy and choice all together at the same time. Other things to think about with autonomy and choice. Can we look at their plans of care within the assisted living facilities? So many times when people have services in these types of settings, they have specific plans of care that are broken down into each service. So this individual is choosing that they do want to get dressed by themselves to the maximum level of independence. Then we need to look at their plan of care. We need to look at their services and see how much assistance are they actually getting when they're getting dressed. For example, I was working with someone, and when we got done with our session, they had just gotten dressed all by themselves, 110%. All they needed to do was have some setup. So I brought out the materials, their clothing for them. They were able to put it on. I was there. They needed a little bit of standby assistance because they have some instabilities, a little bit of verbal cueing. That was it. The next day, I asked a staff member, well, how'd it go? I heard so-and-so was doing excellent and he did so great in our session yesterday. How did it go when he tried himself today? And a care staff told me, oh, well, I just get him dressed. And upon further questioning, this individual was having care staff literally dress them for themselves, even though they no longer needed that help. And when I asked my patient about it, they were telling me that they didn't feel like they had a choice. They didn't feel like they could because the care staff would come in, get the clothes, here we go, arms up, put your shirt on, put your pants on. There was no conversation about choice. And in their plan of care, it had just said assist with dressing. So the care staff, in their defense, didn't know any better. So we had a discussion with the nursing team, and they were on board. They were game. We had a really positive conversation, and now that individual gets just the right amount of assistance. Staff come in, they provide setup assistance, They're there and present to make sure that the individual is safe and has the cueing that they need if it's verbal cues or reminders for safety. Aside from that, they can pretty much get dressed on their own. So again, they got to choose. That's something that they wanted to work on. Again, talking about services, very important when we're talking about autonomy and choice in services. What is most important to the individual? Sometimes for these individuals, their decisions for goals are really driven by finances and money, because assisted living facilities, let's not lie, are expensive. And so some individuals want to pick the most expensive service on their care plan and really work on that one so they can get rid of that and no longer have to pay for it. That's okay. That's their right to decide that. And so us as geri clinicians, we can go ahead and create meaningful goals surrounding that as well and help leverage success in that manner. Oftentimes when we're working towards one goal, it carries over into our other goals and other areas that we may think that these individuals need help with too. So let's review. What can we do as geri clinicians? Leverage role maintenance, autonomy, and choice. Role maintenance, autonomy, and choice. What can we do to promote role maintenance, keeping their identities, their individual roles? How can we leverage autonomy, their independence, and promote their overall decision-making, their choice? Why are they there in the assisted living facility? How do they feel about their transition? And what can we do? Let's make sure that us as geri clinicians are communicating, advocating, and being flexible in our interventions to make these transitions for our older adults very successful. Moving to an assisted living facility can be a really tough time or a very exciting time for individuals, regardless of the situation. And again, we can use role maintenance, autonomy, and choice to guide our therapeutic interventions and guide our mindset when working with older adults that have transitioned into these settings. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you all for listening to the MMOA podcast, and go rock the assisted living world. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the MMOA podcast. If you found this helpful, please share with someone that could benefit. And if you're looking for more practical content to help you better serve older adults, head over to www.mmoa.online, where you can learn more about our free resources, our community, continuing education courses, and our certification. Once again, that's www.mmoa.online. Thanks for listening.